There's over 60 grams of sterling silver on that bracelet. It's a blowout price, so hold the phone if you're ordering it. I will keep you posted on that, but don't hesitate. I hope you don't have to miss it. All right, coming up next, we are going to show you a beautiful ring brought to us by Generations 1912. This is a lovely collection of jewelry brought to us by Bob Weinman, who is the president of the company. His family owns Generations 1912. His great-grandfather started the company. They made the most beautiful platinum, diamond, gemstone jewelry for, you know, they make their jewelry up in New York. So it's a New York manufacturer. They sell their jewelry at the finest stores, right? So everything's made in America. Everything is of superb quality, and every piece is made with the original mold that was first made by hand back in 1912. So what you have here is a really cool piece of history when you order this jewelry. Again, all made in America, all made in New York. This ring is so beautiful. A lot of people buy Generations 1912 to wear in place of an anniversary band, in place of a wedding band, in place of engagement rings, because that is the kind of quality of design we're talking about with this jewelry. So this is the first time we've been able to offer this at a special price. By the way, if you look at the reviews, I believe every review on this, it's a customer pick, is a perfect 5-star. 55555. Everybody who's seen this loves it, and it's first time ever at this low price of $199.90. Absolutely beautiful. Even the undergallery work, again, that is all the original. These are all stamped 1912. You know you're getting the genuine article. The white stones are white sapphire, stunning, and then the red stones are red spinel, also stunning. Bob is a gem expert. The quality of gemstones he uses in the jewelry are magnificent. So he uses superb quality stones, obviously gorgeous settings. Every piece has a story and is a little piece of history. His jewelry has been seen in museums. It's collected by women all over the world. Every piece of this jewelry is something that would become an heirloom for your family, something that you will pass down from generations to generations. That is the whole goal of Generations 1912, is for you to be able to own a piece of jewelry that becomes a piece of your history. It becomes a family legacy for you. So everything is made to the highest standards in terms of the quality of the stones, 925 sterling silver, everything obviously done by hand and made in New York. And I have to tell you, wouldn't it be wonderful if everything, you know, could be made in America? Unfortunately, that just is not the way the world works. It's not the way the world of manufacturing works. But clearly, anytime you can buy a piece of jewelry that is made in America, made in New York, it makes all of us feel great. And we love that. So this is a company that's been around, been making their jewelry right here in the good old USA for over a century. So you have a chance to add a new piece that's full of color and brightness and light. It's very comfortable. We hear that over and over and over again about Bob's jewelry, that people love the comfort. I think Bob is back, I want to say, in August. I know he's working on some gorgeous things for us. This ring we're retiring. More often than not, when we bring you a Generations piece, we are not able to repeat it, because these are all rare, limited designs. I mean, these are designed, or limited stone quantities also. Bob travels the world. He has connections all over the world, and he buys the finest quality stones. But often you'll see they're exotic stones, they're rare, they're unusual stones. We don't see red spinel like this, and you certainly don't see it with white sapphire like this in a $200 range. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. If you're on the line, there's fewer than 100 total available. It's a beautiful ring. Again, natural red spinel, gorgeous white sapphire, $39.98 on your 5 flexible payments. And with your extra flex pay with your HSN card, we'll get that down to about $35 to get this home and get it on your finger. All right. I have another Generations piece I would love to show you. If you are a girl who loves pink sapphire, we don't see it much, do we?